The ocean didn't begin to churn like water. It began to churn like fate, slow, heavy, unstoppable, because gods and demons had agreed on one thing: neither side could win alone. The devas had been weakened, their radiance dimmed by loss. The asuras were strong, but strength without stability is just hunger with arms. And between them lay the Kshira Sagara, the milk ocean, holding what both desired: Amrita, the nectar of immortality. A plan was struck, uneasy, temporary, and dangerous. Mount Mandara would be the churning rod. Vasuki, the serpent king, would be the rope. Devas on one side, asuras on the other, pulling in turns, yanking the cosmos back and forth like people who believe they can wrest eternity into a cup. They dragged Mandara toward the ocean, muscles of divine beings straining, the mountain groaning as if it knew it was being recruited into madness. When they set it into the sea, for a brief moment, everyone felt hope. Then reality hit. Mandara began to sink. Not dramatically, inevitably. A mountain has no business floating, even in a myth. It sank deeper, and with it sank the dream of Amrita. The rope slackened. The ocean swallowed the pivot. The churning stopped before it began. Panic rose on both sides, because now they were united not by ambition, but by failure. And that is when Vishnu moved. No thunderous announcement, no debate, just intervention, quiet, precise, compassionate. The spectacle, the cosmic tortoise surfaced, Kurma, Vishnu in a form so vast that the sea itself seemed to lift its head. A living island, an ancient back broad enough to hold the weight of impossible things. Mandara was placed upon Kurma's shell, a mountain planted on a tortoise. And suddenly, the universe had a pivot. The devas and asuras seized Vasuki again. They pulled, the serpent's body tightened, scales flashing, breath hissing like a storm trapped in a throat. Back and forth, each side convinced they were pulling toward their own victory. The ocean began to whirl, not just stirred, transformed. A massive spiral opened, frothing milk into waves, drawing secrets up from depths that had never been disturbed. The sound of it was like creation remembering its first day. And beneath Mandara, Kurma held. The mountain pressed down, grinding, threatening to crack the shell of any ordinary being. But Kurma did not flinch. Some tellings say Vishnu felt the pressure and smiled, a smile not of amusement, but of endurance. Because that was the real miracle. Not the churning, not the treasures rising. The miracle was support. As they churned, poison emerged first, hala hala, reminding everyone that before nectar, life often brings up what is toxic. Fear surged again, but the process continued because now the axis was stable. Without Kurma, every pull would have been wasted motion. With Kurma, even conflict became productive. That is the uncomfortable holiness of this story. Devas and asuras were not friends. They did not suddenly become wise. They still argued. They still cheated. They still wanted the same prize. Yet Vishnu placed his back beneath the whole effort anyway. Because sometimes the world doesn't need you to pick a side. It needs you to become the steadiness that keeps everything from sinking. We all churn oceans in our own lives, jobs, relationships, ambitions, healing. We pull, and when the mountain starts to sink, we think the answer is more force. Kurma teaches something quieter. Before you demand results, find your pivot. Find the support beneath the work. So the wisdom from Vishnu's tortoise back is this: when your life feels like endless tug of war, don't become another frantic hand on the rope. Become the steady foundation that lets the nectar finally rise.